Currently, millions of people play basketball in the world, whether they're an amateur, a student, or even a professional. Over time, the sport has gained popularity in the US, in particular thanks to the National Basketball Association, or the NBA for short, whose nationwide span is currently expanding worldwide with foreign players, and also the global games. Predominantly, the NBA is African American, close to 80% of its players being black. This race has helped impact the face of basketball into what it is today. People like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and others really affected how the game is played and watched currently. Basketball is often labeled as a stereotypical sport for African Americans. So one would think that a black guy came up with the idea for a game involving a ball going through a hoop. But the irony to that is that the sport was founded by a white man, and his name was James Naismith. Naismith was born on November 6, 1861 in Almonte, Canada. In 1891, he was sent to YMCA International Training College in Springfield, Massachusetts, where he was given 14 days to create an indoor game that could be played during the cold winter. Naismith combined the elements of rugby, lacrosse, and soccer into a sport that he called basketball. The first ever basketball game used a soccer ball, and the goal was a peach basket. When someone scored, the ball had to be retrieved manually. The final score was 1-0. The first person to ever score was a man named William R. Chase. In 1893, the peach baskets were replaced with iron ones with hammock-style nets. 10 years later, the basket became open-ended. As time passed throughout the late 1890s and early 1900s, colleges incorporated basketball and professional leagues, such as the NBL. Big and small started to sprout out in southern Canada and the northeastern United States. In the 1890s, a small minority of African Americans played basketball only in black universities or colleges in the north. A man named Edwin Bancroft Henderson came up with the idea that African Americans could have a key role in basketball by experiencing equality amongst whites on the court. His theory was that if black people were to excel at sports, it would break down the wall of white supremacy and open more opportunities for them. Henderson launched the nation's first basketball league made of 8 teams, all comprised of high school, college, and club players. Basketball spread through black neighborhoods, local YMCA's, playgrounds, and parks. By 1910, basketball became popular among African Americans. In college basketball, by 1928, there were 4 all-black regional conferences. Due to the success of African Americans involved in college or professional ball and the civil rights movement, high school players were being recruited by predominantly white schools. In 1960s, James Cash was the first black player at TCU, and Perry Wallace was the first to be recruited by the SEC. UCLA won 10 titles with Lou Alcindor, or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was so dominant at 7 foot tall that dunking was outlawed in college. In 1965, Don Haskins and his team from Texas Western University was the first all-black team to face an all-white team for an NCAA championship. Today, college ball can be seen as a way for young people to escape the hardships of urban life. In 1950, Earl Lloyd was the first black player in the NBA. In 1955, he became the first player to win an NBA championship. Others came, like Chuck Cooper, the first drafted African American, and Harold Hunter, the first to ever sign with an NBA team. Nowadays, the NBA is trying to become more global with foreign players coming.